Welcome, everyone. Good morning once again to INCRadio Florida. I am one of your hosts this morning here in Tampa, Florida. My name is Brother Robert Topalis, and we're coming to you here from sunny Tampa today. I can actually say that because around this time of year, this is considered that storm season. So, I could wake up in the middle of a hurricane, who knows? But today it is sunny. It's living up to everything that Florida is expected to be. And of course, today is Saturday, May 25th. It's about 9:32 in the morning here on the East Coast of the United States, which means everyone's waking up, grabbing their coffee, having breakfast, and we are so grateful that you're able to join us here today. And I'm also joyful for being able to have my co-host with me today, Sister Joy. Good morning, Sister Joy.
Good morning, Brother Robert. Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. We are all so delighted to have you. And I have to say, I am full of joy because I am joyful, right? Does that
Your
appropriate?
parents your parents named you absolutely correct. That's perfect name.
I love it. Love it, love it, love
Every
it. And
day.
we're so happy to have everyone on here today joining us. Don't forget to comment in the YouTube chat.
Yes, please. We love to hear from everybody, and of course, we have a very special show today because we're going to be recapping a very special event that we held here in the District of Florida last weekend. And we're also very fortunate to have with us, joining as a guest, one of the folks that participated. So last week, the District of Florida hosted the regional band together, and that regional band together hosted bands from 5 different districts. Of course, it was Florida here, and then we also had New York. We had, I think it was Washington D.C., New Jersey, and Virginia, all competing for the being able to be called best band in the region. And I'll tell you, we can't reveal the winners until we actually get the live broadcast, but I'll tell you that it was definitely very competitive. And Sister Joy and I were both very fortunate and blessed to be able to help by hosting the regional band together. So it's always a pleasure to work with you, Sister Joy.
Oh, well, the honor is really mine, Brother Robert. And just to be part of an activity like this is just, it is really incredible with a capital INC, because to see all the brethren come together, and it wasn't just brethren in, my local congregation or our district in the District of Florida. These are brethren and officers that are in all these regions in all these districts that we mentioned. So it's just so lovely just to see everybody come together, display their talents. And again, band together is about music. Music is it's a universal language that everyone can understand. So it's just beautiful. Love it.
Yeah, and luckily for me, unlike many other languages, it's one of those languages that doesn't require me to get a translator, because normally that's the case. But before we go down the path of my very poor dad jokes, I want to introduce our guest today, because we're very fortunate that from one of the bands that competed in this regional band together, we have one of those performers with us. It's Brother Angelino Romanos, coming to us from, I believe, Orlando. Can you say hello to
Hello,
everyone?
everyone. Yeah, I'm Angelino Romanos from Orlando. I'm a part of the Florida band Breakthrough, and I'm the rhythm guitarist. Thank you
Love
for
Oh,
it.
having
that's
me.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So the name of the band is Breakthrough, and obviously, Sister Joy and I both were able to bear witness to the breakthrough performance that you
Mhm.
guys did when you were there. I think that we've got tons of questions for you. I mean, we got to actually watch you guys perform, but I don't think a lot of people appreciate all of the behind the scenes effort that goes into putting together a performance like that. So let me go ahead and
I have a question for you, Brother Angelino. Now, you said rhythm guitarist.
Right.
So is there and I saw the talent. I mean, this is amazing. Can you explain a little bit a rhythm? I mean, it's just not guitarist, it's rhythm guitarist. Can you kind of break that down a little
Right. So
bit?
usually, like in a band, you're gonna have like two guitarists, or maybe three, but
Mhm.
usually one of them is the lead, and the other one is the rhythm. So a
Oh,
rhythm guitarist is like it helps the band, stay in
yeah,
rhythm. Essentially,
yeah.
they play power chords and stuff like that. Whereas, like take Francis for example, he's the lead guitarist.
Mhm.
So he's the one that you hear like the riffs and the solos
Ah,
and stuff like that. Yeah,
you
he's
heard it on here, guys. I mean, that is, information that we learned, and you see how like it's just it really is band together. You got to work together to make it work. I love it.
Yeah,
Love it, love
exactly.
it.
Well, and one of the things with a rhythm guitarist, I'd imagine, Brother Angelo, is that you obviously are sort of that part of a song that kind of keeps pace with, much like what a drummer's doing, right? Just keeping pace with, making sure that everything is flowing the way it's supposed to. Or what's the? I have such a lack of musical talent; it's not even funny. But I think, is it tempo? Is that the word?
Exactly. Yes.
See,
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
at that. I
You
Exactly.
didn't even
got
have to
it.
Google that.
God.
Okay.
There you go. You
So
can be a part of a band now. Let's go.
For pure entertainment.
that's right. That's right. Every band needs a hype man, and that's usually where I end up falling. So when you're performing as a rhythm guitarist, I guess, and also the percussionist, I guess, or the drummer, are the ones that really try to maintain that tempo. And one of the things that, as you guys can see here on the photos, because this was a regional band together, one of the ways that we were able to get to facilitate doing this. Um, is to do it all through WebEx, right? So we were using this sort of virtual connection between the bands in the different regions, and as they performed, they we got to see sort of a I forget what they call them, sort of an introduction to each band, right? So it was, as each band was being introduced, they had this sort of introduction video, very reminiscent of a lot of those singing competitions that we got to watch, where the band gets introduced. But when you are performing, and I've watched you and the band perform live in front of an audience before,
Mhm.
and when you guys were performing here in the studio, without necessarily a live audience, you guys still carried that same energy, right, Sister Joy? They were
We
like, it's how do you guys do that where you don't have, because I know a lot of artists say that they have to draw their energy from kind of the audience. How do
did.
you guys kind of keep that energy up when you're sitting sort of in this virtual environment?
Well, it was definitely tougher. I gotta I gotta say that. Um, there's a big difference between playing online like that and playing with a live audience. It's really more of like a feeling. It's hard to describe. With an audience, you can feel the vibe of everyone
Yeah.
having fun and enjoying it. Whereas when you're just performing in front of the camera, you got to kind of emulate that. But I think the best thing that helped us was actually you guys in the background behind the camera.
Oh my God.
I saw you guys, dancing and like, cheering us on. And honestly, that was probably like the biggest inspiration, probably for us to perform similarly to when we were performing in front of a live audience. So,
Wow.
Well,
That's
and it's easy to do when the music is so moving. I mean, that's
oh, thank
that's
I
the
totally agree. And when the rhythm is
you.
there you go, right?
Yeah.
there's a saying, the rhythm is going to get you, right? So I know half of our audience probably doesn't understand what that reference meant,
Oh
but
no, we got you. We got you.
and it's interesting too, because the way the acoustics and everything, when you're doing it in this sort of virtual environment and working together as a band and sounding so cohesive the way that you guys did,
Mhm.
I mean, that takes practice.
That
Oh
And
really
yeah.
does. And
it's
Mhm.
you guys did great.
yeah, I mean, like, what were the, all of you guys are obviously, either in school or working. You all have a variety of church responsibilities, and your dedication to those responsibilities. How was it that you guys were able to put together the time to be able to get rehearsal? Because obviously you don't sound as good as you guys do by just waking up in the morning and rolling out of bed. So there
Right.
was there was some time put in. How did you
Oh,
how did you guys do that?
Um, it was a little bit difficult at the beginning trying to get everyone's schedule on right, but there were times where for a couple of weeks we were almost meeting up every single day to
wow.
yeah to practice because the original song that we performed didn't exactly sound the same way. It was actually the House That Stands, which is Japanese. And
Whoa.
Really?
yeah, then they
I'm
translated it.
impressed.
Yeah, yeah, right. It's actually a song that they've been playing when they were younger, when the band was formerly known as Table Salt. There's a song
Oh.
that they learned when they were young. Yeah, and they translated it into English, So when we made Breakthrough, we're like, how can we change it up a bit? How can we,
Ah.
make it our own? So
Mhm.
we implemented a little bit of like, punk rock, a little bit
Wow.
of those vibes in there, and yeah. So while we were practicing, we were actually coming up with ideas on how to, change it up a little bit. So
I love hearing these stories because, for many of us and for some of our viewers, we see the performance, and to hear this is what not only the practice, and the rehearsal time that goes into this, but the thoughts of it's not just the performance and coming together to think about the performance, but you kind of just have to practice, different kind of songs, different types of genres. Is this what we're going to present? Is this what we're going to perform? And then just talking that out, performing it together, and then seeing if it works. Wow, talk about together. Really, that is a
oh yeah.
band together for
Hmm.
Well,
sure.
yeah, that's I mean, that I think is the whole epitome of what this is meant to be. It's
Mhm.
obviously it's a very friendly Christian competition, but it
Yes,
really that's just a small portion of it, right? That's kind of the
exactly.
end, that's the end game, but everything that leads up to that, which is all of the fellowship and the
Mhm.
rehearsals and the
Hmm.
commitment and the working together, that's really what band together is all about. It's about the fellowship and
That makes me think about this too because we're coming out of a pandemic. Well, it's not just we've transitioned right after a pandemic, and just like Brother Robert mentioned, performing on on a WebEx platform or virtual platform for you, Brother Angelino. What um, prior to this performance, did you have to perform? I know that you've performed for some of our virtual activities before. How was that? Now, because is this your first? I guess I have several questions, because I'm
I
like,
think I think the last time was like it was a video, so it was pre-recorded.
ah,
I don't think I've ever done anything live like through virtually.
wow. Yeah. See, so that's, I
Yeah,
mean, that alone, I mean, like when you get to pre-record, right, versus live, even though we're
yeah.
on a virtual platform, that's different because you can just pause or you can delete
Right, you
that.
make a mistake. Yeah, you make a mistake. All right, let's go back,
Oh yeah,
re-record.
exactly.
Yeah.
well, I think that
Wow.
that's with this exactly. I mean, when you're doing things live, and one of the things that, as I mentioned earlier, Sister Joy and I had the pleasure of being able to help in putting this together as hosts.
Mhm.
And here's us rehearsing, and Sister Joy doing what she does best, which is taking control and basically telling everyone to just calm down because um, when you're getting up to almost time for the kickoff,
I love it. Look at
you
me
know,
pointing at you. You must have.
yeah, I did it again. I did it
You
again.
did it
Forgot my
again.
lines, right? So as Brother Angelo was saying, there are no take twos when you're doing a live broadcast. So this is obviously the band that's performing, and you know what was really um interesting when I first walked in when we were putting this all together is how small the studio was
Yes.
where we were doing this at first. And then when you look at it in post and you see how this all sort of evolved and what the end product is, it's
Mhm.
just unbelievable how it is that they're able to because I mean you guys look like you know Breakthrough was performing like on a stage in the
Yeah.
middle of a stadium somewhere. 'Cause it's just the way they were able to put that all together. So it was
Exactly. I mean,
you know
it was really like game on. I mean, if we could relate this to a sport, it was like they were game ready. They were just right there.
and they jumped on. And of course, we had other performers. Here
Mhm.
from Florida. Of course, the performers that competed were our very own folks at Breakthrough. We also had intermediate performances for an opening number and closing number from a couple of our Kadiwa Binhi,
Mhm.
so Sister Rihanna, and of course Brother Jean Luc.
Oh, they have
They
amazing
Oh, they
they
were
voices.
great.
oh
Yeah.
They're,
it
I
the
mean, they got pipes.
I
Mhm.
can't wait for this to actually be published for this competition, so others can really experience sort of the hair on the back of your neck standing performance that we got.
Yes. And to think about that, I mean, these are our youth who are using these skills, these talents, and to sing and to hear it. I feel inspired. I'm like, wow. And I've seen, some of our youth here, that all of our performers here, they've grown up, and I'm like, my heart was just so full. I was so full. I was so not only just joyful, but it's just, all the feels. I got all the feels.
I
Just
think
Oh,
like
and
the most inspirational part is like I could see them behind the scenes, and it's normal to be nervous. They
yeah.
were
Hmm.
they were they were really nervous, but then when they actually went up there and they started
Yeah.
singing, and then they hit it out of the park, I'm like,
Well, yes,
dang,
that's exactly it.
like
Right.
look
I'm
at
like,
you go.
yeah. I'm like,
Yeah,
were they really nervous? Because you're right. Like once they're like like you said, like once they start singing and hitting notes, I'm like, I thought they
right.
were nervous because I mean, we've all been there, right? I mean, you're just nervous, like, but they went, whew, oh man, that is definitely some talent, and it's just so humbling and just honored to be part of that group. I'm like, I'm here, y'all. Look at that.
nothing like a production like this gets pulled off without the people behind the scenes. I mean, the folks that were
Absolutely.
working behind the
Yep.
scenes, Sister Cass and Brother Ralph was there, and I
Brother
forget who.
Max, Brother
Oh,
Mark.
brother. Okay, I'm not. I'm wearing the wrong glasses. I
I
couldn't
was
see.
gonna say he's
And of course,
wearing the wrong
brother
prescription.
Max. I hope he's not watching. I didn't forget your name, brother Max. And of course, our CFO advisor, brother Mark Bernal, who really was the captain of the ship in leading, helping to lead this production. But so much work goes on behind the scenes, and even beyond that, um, you know, uh, one of my
Oh,
favorite things about these get-togethers is just the camaraderie amongst the
mhm.
crew, because you could see it's more than just five band members, two hosts, and
Exactly.
tech, three folks running the board. It's a whole army of people
Yes.
that
When they say
really have to come
production, they
together.
mean like
It's a full-on
production.
production,
Yes.
absolutely.
It's
It-
wow. And just that talent too behind the scenes. I mean, to run all the technical, that's why I'm not there, because y'all I can't. I mean, just the buttons alone, and for one little device, I'm like, whoa! How did you know what to press for that?
what do they say? Sometimes they say, "Oh no, we're the talent. We're not supposed to know how that stuff works."
I think it should be reversed as far in terms. I'm like, talent, that's talent. You know which one? I know on and off. Volume up, volume down.
Yep, yep. There's a ton, and you can see all of the ministers and workers who helped to put this production together. Of course, the support of our district minister, Brother Marlon Balasso, and Brother Carlitos Medina, our assistant district minister that was there, and of course, Brother Mark Bernal, our CFO advisor, and everyone in the crew that helped to put this together to make this a fabulous production. But of course,
Mhm.
we can't say that without thanking all of the bands that were there.
Absolutely.
And I'm
Well,
trying,
we
right? We had
couldn't do it without them for sure.
yeah, I know. Otherwise, it would have just been a one band show, and But the talent just across. I mean, they several of those bands. They well, not several, all of them. They just brought it,
Hmm.
and you could see in their production value, and I think I have a great admiration for just musicians in general, because it's a way for you to express yourselves through music. And as Sister
Hmm.
Joy said before, being able to do that is a language that
Hmm.
transcends. Living in different countries, it's just everyone understands it, even if you don't understand the words.
Yes,
If it's
exactly.
composed right, it moves you, right? And
I
how
think
long have you been? Go
yeah.
ahead, Sister Joy.
I was just thinking, because that, going back to what Brother Angelino said, you guys were thinking about a Japanese song, like
Right.
even before, but and then thinking, okay, well, let's go back to this. The music itself, will speak, will move us, but just layering that in for your performance, like, okay, well, maybe not Japanese, let's translate it. Okay, well, maybe if we not translate it, but just those layers alone, you're like, okay, how is this going to? Oh, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. Got my pipes starting to warm up over here.
I was going to say it's she's auditioning to join
There you go.
Breakthrough for next year's band
Lead
together,
singer.
Brother Angel. If you hadn't picked that up yet, she's working on trying to get her spot in there. She wants to move from behind the host microphone and actually
Y'all don't want
after
me. No, everyone's gonna say, "Oh no, she needs to go." back where she belongs. Well,
So, and
Sister Marisol
how?
too, you see her on this. She was a tremendous part of this happening. I mean, also behind the scenes. We were taking orders from her too. She was
Yeah,
trying to keep
yes.
us organized and
We're like puppets. You just tell us where to stand. Tell us where to stand and what to do, and we'll do it. So,
yes.
so
Yes.
I meant to ask you, brother, how long have you been playing music? Play guitar, really?
Oh man, well, I've been playing music since I was probably 7. You know, my parents got me into piano lessons.
Oh, that's where it
Oh,
Yeah, that's
started.
where it all started. So it started with, classical piano music, but
Wait,
I
I have
always
to
had a
ask.
hard
I
time
have to
like
ask.
reading.
You were 7, right? When you
Yeah.
started, did you said your parents? So you start off this story with your parents got you in this. So is this
Oh
something
yeah.
that you first were very interested in, or is this something that your parents encouraged?
It's definitely something my parents encourage.
Okay, I feel
I
that. I
love
feel
the way
that.
that you put that. In other words, when they pick you up and sit you in front of a piano and tell you play,
Play,
and said,
but it's a blessing, right?
Yes.
Sometimes
Woo.
as kids, sometimes you don't understand, y-
Mhm.
but it's something that I'm very thankful that my parents
Y'all,
put me through.
children, y'all heard
Yeah.
that? You heard it
Hmm.
here from our
Hmm.
rhythm guitarist himself.
"That's
Your
right."
parents know best.
You do know that we record these shows, right, brother Angelo? And they could just watch this over and over
Over and
Yeah,
again. So
over.
over.
they'll be able to repeat that every time you challenge a decision. Remember that time you were on INC Radio? Well,
Oh,
and through this, as we'd mentioned, we had so much fun putting this together with the rest of the group that was there, our behind the scenes crew that was there, and all of the performers, our soloists, and even of course the bands that were there. I'm biting my tongue because we can't reveal who the winners are, but
Right.
I will tell you that you'll need to tune in to another episode of INC Radio Florida in the future to find out who those winners were, because um, all
mhm.
of them, it was all well deserved, and the quality of the talent there was just really amazing.
It
So,
is
brother Angela, we're unfortunately our show is the fastest 30 minutes
already?
on radio. I
Oh
don't know if you
dang,
knew that when you joined. We are the fastest 30 minutes on radio, and we're getting close to the top of the hour. We have our friends over in INC Radio South Central States that are going to be coming up next. But before we go, I wanted to ask if you had any shout outs that you'd like to
Ooh.
give before Sister Joy takes us to our CFO in Action segment.
Oh, okay. Shout out to everyone that participated in band together. It's nothing without the brethren. It,
Mm.
it's a band together, and we really saw that this past weekend. And I'm so thankful, so grateful for everyone who helped, for you guys stepping in pretty
Oh,
last minute, and and doing great. It was so professional, and yeah, I'm just super
together is
thankful.
definitely the word,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Band together.
So
Love
just,
it.
just give us a microphone. Sister Joy and I will know what to do. Give us a microphone. Well, and,
Love it.
and and of course, like you said, the audience that helps to support these from the congregations all over the District of Florida, actually all over the 5 regions that joined. Thank you for joining and participating live.
Mhm.
But then again, we're going to be broadcasting the results of that in the very near future. So,
Yes. Gotta stay
how's that for a tease? Was that enough of a
tuned.
tease?
Most
So,
definitely.
Sister Joy, can you tell us what's going on in the district this
You
coming
know,
weekend?
I'm excited too. Just like how this activity, the band together, was just so fulfilling for all of us who participated. We also have really excited to say this that we have our Unity games coming up. And not only do we have a Unity games, if you're not familiar what a Unity games is, this is our sports activity. While normally sports are competitive, kind of like how like you have bands that get together and they kind of compete, we have a sports activity where brethren all over our district will be coming together for friendly competitions, display some of their sporting skills, and along with the Unity games that we have, we also have a Bin He Friendship Day. Now, again, if you're just joining in with us, Binhi are our youth. These are our youth that are 17 years old and younger, who are baptized, and it's a day of friendship, where they're able to get together from all over the district, meet together, play some games, some team building activities, and our Kadiwa too, right, Brother Angelino? We have it's a Kadiwa get together where they're going to be doing the same. And our Kadiwa are our youth who are 18 years old and above, not yet married, and that are baptized. So we're really looking forward to these. They're just really fulfilling. And it's not exclusive to only the Binhi and the Kadiwa and those that are participating in the sports. This is all of the CFO. And CFO stands for Christian Family Organizations. This is for all the families to participate. This is a time where we're all together, and we might not be, playing the rhythm guitar, but we are going to be together in unity for our unity games and our get together with the Kadiwa, and for friendship with our Binhi. This is really a family event. And, just to be able to spend time with one another, with our own families, please come. And I'm excited to tell y'all about that too. So this is something to really look forward to. In
Beautiful.
addition to that, yeah, it's just I'm excited. I'm excited for that, and I'm still trying to relive our band together because that was great too.
Well, it's basically band together, but without the instruments.
There you
We we
go.
we replace rhythm guitar with a volleyball. Mm. Just as fun, just as
Just as
fun.
fun.
Thank you, Sister Joy, for that. Well, we'd also like to acknowledge, of course, those that have helped us to be able to put this show together, and that, of course, is brother, our dearest brother Eduardo Vimanalo, our executive minister, and then also to brother Angelo Aranya Manalo, our SEPSI CEO and president, and the head of our Christian family organization all around the world. And of course, Kuya Tech, thank you there in our main studio for keeping us online, keeping us going. And we really appreciate all of your efforts, Kuya, for helping us. But before we go, we wanted to thank everyone again for joining and tuning into INC Radio Florida. We'd like to thank you for continuing to support this program, but please stay tuned because coming up next, right after us, is going to be INC Radio South Central States. But for now, this is Brother Robert DePaula here in Tampa, Florida, Sister Joy, who's there in Orlando, and a very special thanks to our guest, Brother Angelo Romanos from Orlando, also AKA known as the rhythm guitar for Breakthrough. We'll see you guys next Saturday.